Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about your annual reminder to file worker 1099s. Let's get into the video. If you use workers other than employees to perform services for your business and pay them $600 or more for 2025, you are required to issue each one a Form 1099 NEC after the end of the year to avoid facing penalties and the potential loss of the deduction for their labor and expenses. Filing due date. The 1099 for 2025 must be provided to workers and filed with the IRS no later than February 2nd, 2026. Normally, the due date is January 31st, but since it falls on the weekend, the due date is extended to the next business day, which is February 2nd, 2026. Landlords, the requirements to file Form 1099 NEC may also apply to landlords considering the 20% pass-through deductions. SEC 199A deduction for business income. The IRS is in regulations for this tax code section cautions landlords that to be treated as a trade or business and therefore to generally be eligible for the 199A deductions, they should consider reporting payments to independent contractor service providers on IRS Form 1099 NEC. This generally wasn't required for rental activities in the past and still isn't required when a rental is classified as an investment rather than as a trade or business. Additional filing requirements. Although not commonplace, Form 1099 NEC filing is also required in the following situations. File Form 1099 NEC or Form 1099 MISC to report sales totaling 5,000 or more of consumer products to a person on a buy-sell or deposit, commission or other commission basis for resale. Also file Form 1099 NEC for each person from whom federal income tax has been withheld under the backup withholding rules, regardless of the amount of payment. Report in Box 4. Form W9. It is not uncommon to, say, have a repairman out early in the year, pay them less than 600 and then use their services again later and have the total for the year exceed the 600 limit. As a result, you could easily overlook getting the necessary information such as their complete name and tax identification number to file the 1099s for the year. Therefore, it's a good practice to have unincorporated individuals complete and sign the IRS Form W9 the first time you use their services, whether or not the initial payment exceeds the 1099 filing threshold. Having properly complete and signed Form W9 for all independent contractors and service providers eliminates oversights and protects you against IRS penalties, potential loss of the business deduction, and conflicts. The government provides IRS Form W9 as a means for you to obtain the data required to file 1099s for your vendors, contractors, or service providers. This data includes the individual's name, address, type of business entity, and TIN, usually a social security number or an employer identification number, as well as certification of the ID number and citizenship status. It also provides verification that you complied with the law should the individual provide you with incorrect information. We highly recommend that you have potential vendors, contractors, etc. complete Form W-9 prior to engaging in a business with them. The form can either be printed to fill out or complete on screen and then printed. A Spanish language version is also available. The W-9 is for your use only and is not submitted to the IRS. The W-9 was last revised by the IRS in March 2024. So if you previously printed out blank W-9s of an earlier version to give to your vendors, you may want to print copies of the latest version, including the instructions, and discard the older unused forms. Household workers, 1099 NEC workers reporting does not apply to household workers as they are considered employees. Penalties. If a business does not submit a Form 1099 NEC or Form 1099 MISC by the specified date, penalties range from $60 to $340 per form for filing within the 2026 tax year. 1099 NEC for 2025, influenced by the latelessness of the submission. In cases where a business willfully ignores the obligation to accurately provide a Form 1099 NEC or Form 1099 MISC, they face a minimum penalty of $680 per form or 10% of the income stated on the form for the 2025 tax year with no upper limit. Endeavors to mitigate penalties. Have the contractor complete a Form W-9 request for taxpayer identification number and certification when they are initially hired. If that was not done, the following actions may help to mitigate penalties. Conduct multiple solicitations. Make up to 3 efforts to obtain the tin from the payee. Provide reasonable attempt were made. Document all attempts through email, certified mail, or text messages. Initial backup withholdings. If the contractor fails to provide their TIN, start backup without withholdings at 24% rate on any subsequent reporting payment and send this to the IRS. Submit the 1099 NEC by paper. If the TIN is still not received by the filing deadline, submit a paper form 1099 NEC and write refuse in the section designated for the TIN. Reply to IRS notices. The IRS may inquire about the missing TIN. You should respond promptly with proof of your attempts to obtain the TIN. Consequences of non-compliance. If filing requirements are intentionally ignored, such as not collecting a TIN, substantial penalties could be imposed, 660 per form for the 2025 tax year, without a maximum cap. Following these procedures is essential in reducing penalties. State filing. State filing deadlines may vary. Some states participate in the combined federal state filing program, while others require direct filing. E-file mandate. The threshold for the e-file mandate requires filers to electronically submit returns if they file 10 or more returns in a calendar year. This threshold is determined by aggregating various type of returns rather than having separate limits for each return type as was previously the case. Paper filed 1099 NECs. If a business is not subject to the e-file mandate, 1099 NECs can be paper filed but on special optically scanned forms. Preparing for next year, the reporting threshold for independent contractors paid during the 2026 tax year has been increased to 2,000 by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. But make sure W-9s are collected from all independent contractors, even though the threshold is higher than it's been in the past. Thanks for watching this video and do not forget to subscribe to my channel.